but it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. But what can you do? Don't know if anybody's going to be up and about this time of day. Everybody's probably still at work. Oh, hair's getting out of control. The internet. The internets are not working correctly for me. The internets. The internets. Ryan's out there. Ryan's probably at work. Just as everybody's at work. Doing their stuff. DM Foss is out there. This is a bullet I made at the NRA show. It has no primer. It's not live or anything. But I made this on a press that they were showing. Just going through some old stuff. Getting ready for the transfer, man. Gonna be leaving here soon. So, going through all the shit that I don't need. And I won that cup. That cup at the J.M. Davis Museum. Watching my neighbors almost blow themselves up, but to each their own. Black Cat Outdoors is out there. Jeez, I haven't seen you in a fucking minute. That guy's out there. Still alive. Still alive. Still alive. For sure. Still alive. Stan's out there. What the hell are you doing? Well, doing this for now. Getting all my deer shit ready for this year. Look what I found, Stan. Remember this guy? Remember this mink? I found this guy along with some of my other things. Look at his little feet. It's his little feet there. Nice little mink. Found that guy. It's soft. Still soft. Then I found all my squirrel tails that I saved over the years of us squirrel hunting. So that's cool. I found all my squirrel tails. That's a plus. Then I found this buck right here. This is a buck that I shot on the farm years and years ago. And this buck was shot with a 308. This one here. So this was a good buck. Broke off here. If you can see it there. It broke off there. So he was fighting. He came out. He was aggressive. We did some rattling calls, and he came out. And this is the guy that was chosen to be shot. So he was cool. And then these are off. These are off a deer that I found on a property that I used to hunt. Ghost Tactical is out there. I ain't seen that dude in forever. Where the fuck have you been, dude? I haven't done shit. I went because I was watching Gary's stuff last night because I ain't watched your guys' stuff in a whole lot of time because I've been doing other things, you know what I'm saying, to sort my life out. But man, I was like, where the fuck is Ghost at? I ain't seen your fucking podcast or anything, man. But these little guys that you can't even make into rattlers. This little guy was found on my property where I used to live. This shed this pair of shed antler here, which should have came from him, but who knows? But you can barely rattle with this guy. You'd probably do it better with those antlers over there. But I found those. And then, after I move all this stuff out of the way, oh, I found this stuff. These are tags that you used to get back in the day when you tag your deer, but now they give them out as commemoratives. And each year you do a survey for deer hunting, they send you one of these. And I found all the frames of all of them. Plus I have 2 more in my bag from previous years. So pretty cool. If you remember from the old live streams, you remember from those, that shit was all hanging up in that garage there. But I found all kinds of shit in here. So this is pretty cool. I found there's my rest right there. I gotta kill this spider real quick so he doesn't murder me. That one's done. Knife handles, he says. Yeah, that guy's toast. So we got rid of that fucking spider for now. Anyways, knife handles for those little antlers. But so out here doing some thinking, going through this stuff and all that, and seeing what now has come out for Charlie Kirk and the presser that was held a few minutes ago from the guy that's going to prosecute the case. And it's damning evidence. It's damning evidence, especially the text messages. The text messages alone not only put him there, he confesses to the crime and then confesses to the murder in general and portrays about what it all took for him to do said dastardly deed. So my thoughts on it is this, and I've seen Charlie Kirk before, way back in the day. I didn't agree with a lot of his positions. He was a devout Christian, which I'm Catholic, and Christians and Catholics don't kind of mix. So we didn't see eye to ye on a lot of that stuff. But now watching everything online and watching the disgusting behavior by people, I look at it this way. Charlie's right, man. The right to bear arms is a natural right to protect ourselves. And this is only given further evidence to why we should have less gun control and more pro-gun legislation. It's the proof is in the pudding here, as they say. But again, I didn't agree with everything he said, but he was a guy that didn't promote political violence. Now, there's a difference between him and what the Proud Boys do, and what is those other creeps that roll around in their little masks and stuff, the Patriot Group or whatever. Remember those guys? Where have they been at, right? But now, everybody wants to lump him in with those guys and everybody else. But now there's the Grofers or whatever they're called now, which is Nick Fuentes, and I ran into him on Twitter. And if you thought Charlie Kirk was bad, fuck, this dude is an open racist. If Charlie Kirk was a racist, then he was a very, let's just say, undercover racist compared to Nick Fuentes. I don't think a lot of people see the odd, non-similarities towards these two people, and they just group them all together. And I think that's a problem when you start creating this tribalism and the grouping together of certain folks. I look at this kid that done this. This kid's younger than my kids that did this horrific action, and it really it really, you know, secures the thought process that I gave to my kids to have their own, form their own opinions, you know, and to, you know, uh, uh, stick by their beliefs. Stupid Catholics are the OG Christians. I was raised Catholic. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I think that's what everybody's misconstruing about this guy. I don't think I didn't agree with him about gay people. I did not agree with what he said about trans people. I didn't agree with any of that shit. It's pretty evident that I'm not going to start lumping people into groups because I've never done it, and start calling for the murders of them. Let's just be honest here. And this is what a lot of people did, even when this guy was still alive. Even when Charlie Kirk was still alive, people wanted to murder this man. And he chose to go into these places where these attitudes, these beliefs, these ideologies were resonating, festering, and we saw all types of it all throughout the campus for people that were connected to Israeli concerns, especially what's going on now with them, and how much they protested and how much they did things to Jewish students. I mean, this is where the stuff resonated, and this guy had the audacity to go in there and think nothing was going to happen to him, which is utterly stupid. It's stupid to not think that somebody was going to do something to this man, but he was so in tune with his beliefs, he didn't care. He didn't care. And he went into the lion's den without a whip, and he was slain. That's how I look at it. Everybody knows my opinions on here. Glad we have your thoughts on this crucial matter. I can now go on with my life. Oh, look at this guy. Well, it doesn't matter what I think, and it didn't matter what Charlie thought either. Wody. What is that kind of bullshit? We called people Wodies back in the 90s, you fucking loser. You know, if you don't like it, fucking leave. I mean, here you go, dude. How about I do this one? How about we do this? We remove your comment. Oh, look at that. Free speech. People don't understand what free speech is about. And I highly suggest you go back to the First Amendment and read what that is, Wody. But back to my original thought here when we were rudely interrupted, is that this guy walked into there with he probably had concerns that people would try and do something to him, but it didn't matter to him. And that I can respect. People on this channel understand that I will not debate with liberals anymore. Liberals or far left people or Democrats in general, if you even call them Democrats, you can even call these people Republicans nowadays. You know what I'm saying? It seems we're being thrust into this far right, far left categories, and we have to pick one, or yet you either get offed in society or you're shunned by society. Remember that? Remember the jibby jibby? Remember that? If you didn't do that, you were cast out of society, or some people wanted you cast out of society. So, I mean, people like me who have split their votes in the past for Republicans and Democrats at that time, that's what we called them. And leading up to now, no, I did not vote for these people. I did not vote for these people to be in office. I voted the way I thought needed to be put down as my vote in my thought process of, hey, these people aren't doing it for me. Let's try this other means of trying to get things done. Yeah, I'm a constitutionalist, man. I believe in the Constitution. But what people aren't gathering is everybody saying, well, this is free speech. This is free speech. Yeah, there's some times that he was talking about free speech, but a lot of the other times it was all his own opinion. And that is not free speech. And you're beholden to your opinions, just like I am. You guys know me. I stand corrected whenever whenever I'm fucking wrong, you know? It is sad. It's sad that this guy attempted to make a dialogue, at least. Even though that these people were never going to agree, at least they had a dialogue on it. Now it's just, point and pull kind of dialogue. And that's dangerous dialogue to set precedent with. And for me, I've been in these situations. A lot of these young kids, most of them that were out there on the day that this happened, most of the people that are squawking online have never been put in positions where it's you or death. And I've been put in those positions more than once. It's you or you're going to die. It's one of those two things. And I think they haven't grasped the concept that you don't go back into a loading zone like a video game and drop back in. It doesn't work that way. Once this is a done deal, it's a done deal for forever, for your entire immortal life. So I don't think these kids understand that. And looking at how many of these kids are in this age range, you're one. This is at one point where this country wanted 16-year-olds to vote. Remember that? 16, 17-year-olds to vote. But these people, that are stuck in this age category can't even own and operate firearms in a responsible manner. And that sets a dangerous precedent for the younger generation. Like the younger generation is not looking at it. They've already tried to bar you from buying guns. I don't see how the younger population understands this with their restrictions. Even right now, you can't buy a handgun when you're 18 years of age. And if you're going to continue to behave like this in society, they're going to say you can't even have a long gun at 18. In some states, it's probably like that. In some of those really blue run states where you have to be 21 to buy a firearm. So this sets a big tone for this country. And if we're not going to learn from this, then I don't know if we could ever learn again. And it's just based off reaction. Anger and reaction. People will stop messing around. Thanks for joining us. Tanchnot. We're going to, so like people like Black Cat, if you see shit out there in the chat that ain't supposed to be there, just delete it. Just delete it. Look, I'm for listening to other people, but if you're going to come in here like Wody and the other guys that have showed up and try and derail the conversation, you're just going to be booted out of here and you'll have to find a different platform to spout your fucking nonsense on. Yeah. But I mean, I don't agree with everything that man says, but again, what do you expect from these people that have this type of ideology, this type of thinking? It's not rational. This is not rational. What we witnessed on those videos all across the internet and what those people witnessed in real life is not rational. That's not rational. And this is a kid that was probably beat over the head with right-wing propaganda from his parents, got tired of that, moved to a different ideology, which is far leftism, in any case in point, and decided to sell his royal oats onto that kind of thinking, and it's ruined his life forever for it. So what have we learned from this situation? If you're going to actually figure this out, is the left and right are no different from each other. It's just the left is taking it to a far advantage that the right would do during the Portland riots, when all these big groups of right-wingers would go out there and fight Antifa, right? You know what I'm saying? People died during those struggles too. You don't remember the man that was shot in the chest in Portland? A lot of people remember that man. He's very popular in gun culture. Are you the guy who was caught with a lady boy at the glory holes downtown? Look at this guy. See, these are the kind of thought processes that I see on the internet that makes me not want to be a part of society like this guy. Let the others find this. Find what? What is the whole purpose of your name and your lingo? That's the thing. These people come in here like this guy and like the other guy. They come in here and they spout this nonsense off. And then they're like, yeah, we don't need political violence. Fuck you. I'm trapped in the middle of this bullshit. So good luck fucking with me. If this fucking asshole that got his message deleted by me and this asshole that just got his deleted, you should talk to these other people. I don't fuck around. You will find out massively of what will happen if you fuck around and do stupid shit like this around me. It won't end kindly for you. And I'm not afraid to say this to you. I'm not going to cover my face. I'm not going to hold a fucking sign. I'm going to blatantly fucking tell you to your face of what's up. And a lot of these guys understand it. That's what is different between me and all these other people on the internet. These other people on the internet are here to hoopla and get you to pay money to their sponsorships or the products they are beholden to. I am not there to do this. I'm not there to do this. I'm not. Oh, Lord, tough guys everywhere nowadays. Hey, fucking Joe, if you think you're so fucking tough, come fucking right here into this fucking alleyway and see how fucking tough you are. It's not going to, again, it's not going to fucking end well for you. It's not going to end well for anybody that thinks that they're just going to sit here and talk shit. It's just not, because you're going to talk shit to the wrong person, and that motherfucker's going to swallow you up. And that's just the simple truth of it. I mean, it's just the messages on the internet are so vile and so filth that it's unimaginable. It's unimaginable how these people actually walk out around us in life, in society, and they have this kind of thought process like all these people. It's just like all these people, you know, they see the headline Charlie Kirk, so they have to run over there to defend their ideology and their bullshit, and this guy that did this and say it was justified, because it's not justified. There's been huge far leftists that have been really outspoken about how awful this is. Whether they mean it or not, I couldn't tell you. It could be like TMZ, where they cheered for the death of this man and then tried to walk it back, which it was time stamped of the time it happened. Not only that, what happened in the car chase that they were watching. Yeah, that lady time stamped that shit on TikTok, and it doesn't look good for TMZ. But I mean, again, these are media groups that are profoundly inherent to be trying to poison the minds of not only the youngsters, but these old boomers and fuckers like in this chat are. I mean, it's fucking wild. Colleges is where most of this shit is bred from. Most of these people that are being fired from their jobs are fucking teachers. That should tell you what's going on, not only locally in your community, which is your high schools, because there's one around here that got put on administrative leave, but people around this country who are supposed to be educators, but they're not educating a whole lot of anything. All I see is political violence of who to hate and who not to hate. I don't see any actual, you know, we're trailing in reading, writing, and arithmetic and science. We're trailing in all those categories as a nation, but this is what they're teaching on the college campuses, of teaching kids what bathroom to choose or which political side of the aisle to stand on. That's not going to really create any kind of urgency to win in these categories of education, and it's just not going to. And with these educators being fired, and some of their egregious tweets that they put online or their Facebook posts, yeah, dude, we can see why there's a decline in the education of Americans, of young Americans in this country. It's because they're not being taught what they're supposed to be taught in high school. There's very few times in high school there was a lot of political banter. Then 9/11 happened. 9/11 happened. If some of these guys in this chat probably weren't even alive for 9/11, I was halfway across the fucking world. Some of these little fucking losers, they ain't done shit. They ain't done shit in their life but sit behind that keyboard like, what's that other fucking guy that wants to talk shit to me? All these other people. Like, you have no idea what happens in the real world. And I like how they say that this kid was caught up in the culture, the online culture. You know, this is like video games back in my days where they had to start putting the little stickers on cassette tapes and video games for violence, right? Oh, I couldn't be more wrong. You're an educator. You're probably one of those people that sat around on some kind of social media platform and raised a big cheer for the death of some guy that didn't do anything to you. He did absolutely nothing to you. Absolutely nothing. The left has created their own fucking disorder. They've created with their sitting on soapboxes, telling them to go scream at people at restaurants, gas stations. Remember Waters sitting on that in that gas station parking lot and saying that shit? All that stuff. Gary's out there. But you guys have spurred this. You spurred this moment. This is your shit to own. This is your ideology. And I don't give a fuck if you're an educated or not. I know tons of teachers. Travis P11 is a Spanish teacher. Go look at his channel and go tell him how shitty of an educator he is, because he's pretty damn good. And he follows the same core values that I do and everybody else here. So me and you aren't the same, and it's time for you to go. The left is horrible. The left is horrible. They're just as bad as the right. No, I'm not having any more discussions with liberals. I made this clear way back in the day when Rob Pincus started collaborating with the Brady Foundation and all these other anti-gunners. I'm tired of talking to the anti-gunners. There's nothing I could ever say that would ever change their perspective on the gun ownership in this country. There's nothing else to discuss. There's nothing else. That's why Missouri just got constitutional carry, and now it's legal for open carry in Florida, because gun laws are all unconstitutional. Not only that, half the time they're opposed as racist baits to keep minorities from owning and operating firearms. So I don't want to hear that shit anymore. But no, I'll never open the Charlie Kirk conversation is over for me. There's no more conversating for me. And that's the biggest thing you have to understand. This happened years ago. Years ago, when I seen all these other gun channels sell out to all these other people that thought it was great to congregate and give leftists and anti-gunners a platform on a pro-gun platform, and it's never worked out. It's never worked out well. Gavin Newsom was taught a simple lesson when he went on the Sean Ryan show. So no, I don't condone any of this shit anymore. You're a proud 2A supporter? How come I've never seen you at a rally? How come I've never seen you at NRA meetings? How come I've never seen you in the NRA media box? And don't give me this shit, oh, it's because I have a job. I fucking had a job all those fucking years. All those fucking two handfuls of fucking years that I was fucking doing this shit. And I ain't never seen you once walk up to anybody. I talked to the shakers and movers. Now the gun rights policy conference is the shit. I was already going to that stuff back in the day. Now all these other fucking people want to claim how great they are because they're great gun owners too. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're pro 2A butt. I think you're a pro 2A butt person, and I'm sorry if this turns you off, but that's bullshit. Your comment was bullshit, and this is bullshit. And I'm not going to sit here and debate for you. This may not be the best place for you. It's a big country, bro. Motherfucker, I've been around the world. You ain't got to tell me about shit, dude. Here, how about this? How about this, bro? Oh, there goes your free speech. You tell him, Dale. Look at this. Another loser. See, there's just a bunch of losers. This is why I don't do lives a whole lot anymore. Because you just congregate a big faction of fucking losers that don't understand that life is precious. You only get one of them. So you better be doing the shit that you want to do, not the shit that you think you have to do to survive. It's egregious to me when these people come on these live chats and they talk all this shit, dude. Look, Charlie Kirk was killed because he believed in something. And that person that did it did not believe in what he believed in. And that is wrong. But there's no going back and there's no changing it. But if you think the left, anybody that claims that they're a Democrat at this point, anybody thinks they're going to discuss these subjects with me? No, the dialogue has been cut off for some time now. So, I don't know. Yeah. Heavy hitter. Heavy's about the only thing you are, looking at your profile. I think it's bad. This guy thinks he knows me from one comment. There. Oh, what comment was that? I don't see your comment there. I don't care. I don't care to know you. I don't need any more friends. All my friends are either dead or gone. You know what I'm saying? Or they have fallen so far into the political abyss that there's no throwing a rope to them. And they're going to suffer the same consequences that most of the people out there are that follow these kinds of like fucking ideologies. I don't care. And your messages will keep on this. That means go away to these fucking people. Heavy shit bags and his bag of cronies that he's brought in here. You know. Mm-hmm. Nobody said anything about a rope comment. This dude is bonkers. I'm not bonkers, motherfucker. If you think I'm bonkers, go look at fuck it. Oh shit, dude. Go. Yeah. I'm smiling and laughing. Is that supposed to offend me? Is that supposed to get me to rage? It doesn't matter, dude. You just sit behind a keyboard all day. You probably have some bullshit job, and you probably fucking make the minimum for your state. So who gives a fuck? Like, who cares, dude? Who cares? Oh, yeah, they're way too far. Way too far to save, dude. These people aren't even friends with me on Facebook anymore. I deleted them because of their posts from the past. You know what I'm saying? You people have no idea. I don't. I got rid of my bullshit job. That's the thing. Where they got rid of me. That's what happens. So it doesn't matter to me. I'm living one of the best fucking lives. I sell guns. That's what I do, you dumb fuck. That's what I do. That's what I do all day, all long. That's what I do. Yeah, they're trying to get. Yeah. I got fired, yeah, because my management couldn't do their job. Our bound books were wrong, and they were putting people in positions that are in violation of federal law. So yeah, I did bitch and complain, and they fired me for it. You fucking right, they did. But that's not my problem. My business isn't going to get shut down. Theirs is. That's the problem. See, there's two problems, and when they don't identify this problem, then what do? Grow to the point till eventually something will happen to both sides back to the center, if possible. Yeah, if possible. That's the thing. If possible. This has created such a divide and a rift in this country that it might be unsonable. So there's nothing you can do. Dude, I got on here to support you, but 5 minutes you're talking has opened my eyes. Whatever, dude. I don't care. Your eyes should have been opened 10 years ago. I don't know if the center is moving left. Because there's a lot of people that don't even want to be associated with the left or right, dude. And that's what I am. I am not associated with the left or right. I have voted for Democrats. I've voted for Republicans on a fucking state level because they were the best people that could do the job. It wasn't because they were black or because they were Christian or because they were some part of, race, color, or creeds, because they could do the right fucking job. And that's the whole point. To do the right job for your constituents. But these people tell me the last time they've done the right job for its constituents. Cory Booker was a prime example. All he said to Kash Patel today, who is an absolute idiot anyways, is, you're never going to tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. Nobody tells me what to do. Nobody tells me what to do. That's their mindset in Washington. Nobody's allowed to tell them what to do, but they're allowed to tell you what to do. That's the whole focus here that we've been seeing. So you're a trans middle row? I don't care about trans people. I don't care about gay people. I have gay family members. I have gay friends. I don't care. I don't care who. It doesn't matter who you love. It doesn't matter who you want to spend your last times that you have with, because you never know when that's going to be. Just enjoy yourself. Don't hurt other people. Mind your own fucking business and go on with your life and enjoy it the best possible way you can without disrupting everybody else's. But when fucking people get like this and they get ruly and unrest, those times have to be set aside now, and it has to be like, look, this is the rule of law here. It's one thing for this man to go on campuses and tell these uneducated college kids that they suck at life, but it's another thing when you start killing these fucking people that are doing this. Doesn't matter. Donald Trump was going to be elected anyway because Joe Biden couldn't handle it. And if you looked at Kamala Harris's stuff, you lefties, you can see she's already thrown that old man under the bus, unlike everybody else. So what does that tell you? There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate. Dude, I worked behind a gun counter for almost 10 fucking years, and you couldn't imagine some of the shit that I've heard. When Donald Trump, when that assassination attempt happened, they had a guy come to the gun counter asking what gun was it. They want to buy one too. Because it seems like it's going to be efficient enough. This is the kind of terminology that these people are using when they come to the gun counter. I've had people ask me to break federal gun laws because they're rich liberals and they think the law doesn't apply to them. There's tons of that shit. Go ask some of these guys on here about my gun shop stories. They're hideous. Hideous at sometimes. Hideous. I don't hate anybody, but I sure the fuck hate people that go out and do violence in the name of fucking politicians and stupid fucking ideologies. Islam's another one. If you want to be technical, trust me, I dealt with those people quite often. They don't want to live like the West. They don't have any interest in fucking football or baseball. People leave those motherfuckers alone too and let them fucking revel in their own fucking misery. That's how I look at it. Yeah, this is when hate comes out. What? You don't think I hate people? I hate people that do this. I hate people that do these actions that create unrest. Like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do now? Just say it's all good in the hood? It's not going to work that way. It's not going to work that way. Be cordial. Be cordial. To fix the problem, gun reform does not fix anything. It hurts law-abiding citizens. You are not a man of your word. Why? Because I hate it when motherfuckers go out there and kill people unjustifiably? Yeah, dude, you should hate those people. And you should hate the people that support it too. And those people should not belong to society. Because they can't be cordial in it. And let's look at the parents that prompted this kid to flip the script on them. Let's look at the parenting too. Yeah, there's no fix to that. It's all gun control. Gun control is unconstitutional. I said it in a post-it note. Say it again, dude. Train like they hate you because they do. They do. I'm never going to change my beliefs and my views like Charlie Kirk. If you don't like it, you can fucking leave. This is how this goes. And if people will understand, here's the fucking door. You see the door fucking frame right here? There's the door. Walk out of it and don't let it hit you where the good Lord splits you. So get the fuck out. I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck. I don't need Christ. I talk to him on a daily basis. If you notice Jesus in the Bible or whatever fictional book you want to talk about, he never ran into a church. And the only time he did go into a temple, it was to tip tables and whip people. So what does that tell you about the good Lord? Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of those trash states out there, Josh P. There's tons of them. I believe Jesus existed, but I don't believe he did all this shit that's in the Bible. The Bible's been written over and over, especially the King James Version that he thought fit was to rewrite it for his own personal fucking political gain. So yes, dude, the Bible's been rewritten quite a few fucking times. He didn't speak it. Where in the Bible did he speak at a synagogue, dude? He spoke on the sides of mountains. He spoke on the sides of fucking lakes and rivers and valleys. He walked to towns. He didn't do any of that shit that you see these crazy Christians and Catholics do. These giant mega churches. Jesus didn't have a giant mega church, bro. The outside the world himself was his church. That's what it was. The people were his church. Not some mega church like the Olsteins and all those people. This man existed, and he was killed because of his beliefs. And the people that did bad things to him were the people of his society. Just like we've just seen. When people are filled with hate, they do crazy shit. The church is scam and fallacy. why they always stick a donation bucket in front of your fucking face, bro. They don't pay taxes. You know, God did not preach in mega churches. He did not go to the most wealthiest temples and preached. He went over there, he tipped tables, and he hit people. That's what he did, because they weren't following God's rule. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do. Being compassionate, being loving, being all the things that he preached about. And it took a toll on Jesus. And that should be a lesson learned. A lesson learned. That even the Son of God can have anger issues. So what does that tell you? I don't believe what most of these fucking people in here are talking shit about. I'm not coming together with anybody. I'm going to come together with me and my small group of friends. That's who it's going to be, bud. I appreciate you coming in here and trying to talk about dialogue, but there's no more dialogue to be talked about at this point. There's not. When you have politicians openly calling for the killing of other individuals or the harassment of individuals, is when you've crossed a line. That's when you've crossed the line. And especially when these people start doing the actions that these said politicians are talking about doing in random ways. I'm going to live on my life the way it is, Josh. Charlie Kirk being murdered is not a big problem for me. If you haven't noticed, it's just not. It just shows me the level of instability in society, and I should really have my head on a swivel now, especially when you wear shirts like this, when you have decals on your car, things like that. Be aware. Situational awareness is what they teach you in classes. Most of these people in here have probably never taken a gun class in their life, and they think they're experts. It's absolutely absurd. And the shit that Johnny B's saying, yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about on the left. Go look at that guy's latest video. Go look at these people, these prominent gun tubers that are talking about political violence and how that might be the only way. Go look at that guy's video. You think I'm bad? Go look at that motherfucker. Go look at him. And that was the guy that the fucking GOA wants to speak at its meetings. A guy that I watched on a live stream use racial and homophobic slurs. You want me to what? Sit down in a room with this guy? Why? So you can watch me kick his fucking face in? Is that why? Talk about hatred, man. These are the kind of people that are being thrusted in these positions in society, and I refuse to listen to them, and I refuse to talk to them. And it's that simple. I don't have to listen to them, and I definitely don't have to fucking talk to them. But don't expect me to donate to your fucking foundation, your charity, or your movement when you have these types of fucking people, these assholes on your panel to talk about gun rights and to talk about how gun rights are supposed to be inalienable rights for every human being, every walks of life, no matter race, color, and creed. But when it comes to Johnny B, except for when you're trans, you're gay, or you love someone that he doesn't agree with. And that's what you should be looking at. Fuck that guy. I've never liked that man. And I think he should be fucking tarred and feathered and thrown in there for somebody that has the audacity to go on somebody else's live stream and use homophobic slurs. If you haven't watched that one with the Yankee Marshal and that other guy that was on there, again, using homophobic gestures and slurs towards Yankee, yeah, dude, I'm not going to watch those fucking people either. Those people have no knowledge and no fucking... no anything for me to follow or to practice about or preach about. But I will say one thing. I will talk about it when they're ousted in their fucking rhetoric. And that's just the thing. Our First Amendment, Billy, has nothing to do with what Charlie Kirk was murdered for. Go reread the First Amendment. The First Amendment, all the amendments, is a great constant reminder for the government to understand that they cannot press the American people into their craziness. Politicians in general, their religion is not Christianity. It's not Catholicism. It's not any of this. It's not Judaism. It's none of this. It's government. That's their religion. Their religion is government. And it's pretty profound, especially when they put down the hands of screws to the American people the way they do, no matter side of the aisle you're on. Their religion is politics. And if you don't go along with their politics, you suffer the consequences of it. How are those cocaine smugglers doing in that boat the other day? Not too well. Not too well. So, I mean, keep following these ideologies, keep following these bad people in government, and you will find yourself in the same exact position. Do you agree in freedom of speech? Even if, yes, fuck, you can run around and exclaim that you're a Klans member. It does not matter to me. I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to follow it, and I can walk away from it. But it becomes my problem when people start dying because of it. And imposing your will on them that you either think this some sort of way or you're going to be ousted from society. I tell you what, man, I don't give a fuck what people say. Words don't hurt me, brother. Words don't hurt me. Do you see? No, all my cousins are black, Asian. It doesn't matter, motherfucker. You don't know where I come from. Shit, dude. Rolling down the river with Tina Turner. Yeah, they are. Speech is speech, man. And if you have the low mental capacity to think words are actually going to hurt you, they're not. Look at all the people that have done you wrong in your life. Have you not called them snakes, assholes, bitches, conniving, all those other ad hominems? And what has it gotten those people? It's got them to where they wanted to get to ruse you, to hurt you in that kind of form or fashion, but you can get back up on your feet. I'm a prime example of it. Prime example of it. Your free speech is against the government and about government entities, breaking their oath to the Constitution. It's your free speech isn't, I can go out here in the middle of here and start cussing at my neighbor and call him. That's not free speech, bud. It's not free speech. It's not. And there's consequences for it. Should I think this man should have died for him? No. There's no fucking possible way. Why? Because he doesn't like gay people? He has a problem with trans people? That's his fucking problem. That ain't my problem. I don't have a problem with him. I probably walk by him at the gas station every day. I see him at a fucking store if I go into a store. Fuck. They have no bearing on me. When I have a problem is when people like this man go out there in society and use this kind of tactic, use this kind of force. What, to get me to comply? You have one side of the argument. Look at it this way. You have one side of the argument that's constantly passed gun control, constantly said you don't need a firearm to own and operate and protect yourself. You don't need a first responder because that's why we have police, but we want to defend them anyway. But we want to take your firearms so our political combatants can kill people on a national stage or on the back streets of a small city. Then you have the other side of the argument, which is the right, which many people that follow me are. They're telling me that I can have firearms, but they have to be restricted. I have to pay unconstitutional taxes to own certain stuff. I have to do this. I have to do that because that sets us apart from the common criminal that's on the streets every day. That's why we're law-abiding citizens as they rape, pillage, and plunder the communities that they're all in charge of. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not going to buy into those ideologies. I'm going to carry a fucking gun wherever the fuck I go, no matter what little fucking symbol is on your door with a fucking red line through it. It doesn't matter. You see me walking, you better understand. Fuck, I'm carrying a fucking gun. And that's it. And trust me, I know how to use this motherfucker too. I'm not like this dude that missed this shot. A lot of people are saying that's where he aimed. No, he didn't. This is a kid that didn't compensate for wind and he missed his shot and he hit him low. That's my argument about that. Because this deer right here, this deer suffered the same fate. This deer right here suffered the same fate. And that was with a 308. So quit crying about my 5.56 when you just saw what a 30-06 does. And a 308 is more potent. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? I don't know what else to say to these fucking losers around here, but it just amazes me. Dude, he missed his shot. And for these people, you know, it's what's really disconcerting is these big ass YouTubers going on here saying it's a professional job or only a professional can make that shot. That buck I shot you, I showed you, I shot from 160. So what does that tell you? It's a doable shot. It's a doable shot, man. Because he hit he hit an artery in the neck, dude. You have your arteries in your neck are all connected and they're very close together. And once one gets severed and creates damage, it's a done deal. Trust me, I've seen it in real life. I mean, people are crazy right now. And why are they crazy? They're crazy because of their political believings. That's what it is. No, he was shot in the neck. He wasn't shot in the head at all. It went through this way, and it came out that way, buddy. Right below here. He was aiming here, and he shot here. That's how that happened, bud. God does judge them all, dude. Go watch the program for these little kids. Go watch the program, dude. Go look what Max says all the time about football. That was what's ingrained in our fucking heads back in the day. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You know, I saw this coming a mile away. Way before any of these people, like there's some people that still don't know who Charlie Kirk is. And I've watched him since he first showed up on the political scene. I seen him when he first did his first political debate. There wasn't a lot of people there, but he created a conversation. And I think that's what these leftists are afraid of, a conversation, because they cannot hold a conversation. They do not have the intellect ability to hold a conversation and make valid points. They don't. That it's only what Maxine Waters says or that limp dick over there on Capitol Hill says, and we should believe what they say, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, politicians' religion is government. It is not Christian values. It's not Catholic values. It's government. It's government. That's what they believe in. They do not believe in Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, if you believe that. They do not believe in the fucking Bible if you believe in the Bible. They believe in politics and government. That's what they worship. That's what they believe in. They can care two shits about thoughts and prayers and Jesus and everything that comes in the holy name. They care about fucking government. That's what they care about. So if you think politicians are your friends, they're not. They're only your friends when you need a vote. When it comes down to them being reelected, that's when they become your friend. That's when they agree with you. That's when they love you. And then when they get in the office, the fucking thing turns. The switch of politics and government is our religion takes hold. That's it. And you can see it in some places where they've actually improved it, but they were voted out and they put the scumbags back in there and they reverted right back to the bullshit that they had to deal with in the first place. We've seen that. I've just seen that in the county over. That they had somebody doing really good things. They spread a bunch of bullshit leftist propaganda, got them lit up, and now they have a homeless problem. Now they are not arresting people and putting them in jail for crimes. They're taking them into custody, booking them, and letting them out. They're constantly committing crimes. The one guy where I used to live got unalived for his violent nature. I mean, that's what happens when you just walk into people's houses trying to steal their shit in the middle of nowhere. I guarantee you're going to be met with a barrel of a gun, especially if they don't know you. You know, they don't believe in religion. I don't understand how you people that are coming into this chat trying to give me shit for nothing for absolutely nothing, for again stating my opinion, stating an opinion, but that's okay. Money and evil. It could be that on tons of levels. If you go back to Eisenhower's speech about the military industrial complex, dude tells you all of what he saw forthcoming with the military, with its hostilities, and with what they were trying to create, which was a lot of regime change. You don't remember the fucking Bay of Pigs? I mean, you don't. This is shit. Just we're not learning from the past, from history, and repeating it now with other human beings in the future. That's all we're doing. We're not learning from what happened way back then, and we're creating the same circumstances now, in this time, in this society, with this technology and all that jazz. It's just at a higher state. If this guy, one of his things were in there, I hope they don't find the gun because I got away clean or some shit like that. I don't want to get caught. You're going to get caught. Everything's on surveillance. Dude, you just walk 2 blocks down from there, there's a camera. You go on the main street out here, there's a camera. There's cameras everywhere. If you think you're going to get away with this crime like DB Cooper, you're not going to, bud. It's just not going to happen. Not in today's age and society. If you're not watching the war in Ukraine, you should be scared of drones. You should think highly of drone technology because it is very, very capable. And who's in charge of it, guys? Oh, yeah, these people, these political people that think going around and murdering people for the just cause of government is their thing now. It's what they want to do now to assert their dominance towards civilization, dude. Big Brother is always watching. They're watching, like, all these guys that were using reset triggers in their videos, that were using fucking switches, all this shit. Some of these people went to jail. Matt Hooper's a prime example of what you put on the internet the government is looking at. If you guys haven't seen the Matt Hoover story, go look at that. CRS Firearms. The government is probably looking at this shit, scrolling through, looking for anything with buzzwords, anything that creates awareness of the situation in public life. They're always watching you, dude. It doesn't matter. Remember way back before the 2000s when the house market crashed, they thought it would be a great idea to fudge the numbers on books. Now our government is like the banks of those years where they were too big to fail. Remember Obama said, too big to fail. Our government is now so fucking bloated, it's too big to fucking fail. We can't let it fail now. And if it does fail, look at the discourse that we have in society if the government did fail. We would have to fend for ourselves a lot. A lot. FRT triggers, that's what they say, man. I'm not going to see it until it's absolutely signed into law. Into law, Jerry. Look, I get it, dude. I get it. Some places put the shit back on their shelves. Well, what is it for the ATF just to go back and say, we fucked up? Because remember, dude, the mainstream media got a hold of that story about FRTs and how they put killing machines back on the streets. Like it fucking matters. I mean, dude, I don't have it. I have paperwork for the shit that I have. Let's just put it that way. I have paperwork for the shit that I have at this point. And I shouldn't even have to fucking do the paperwork to have this shit either. I tell you what, man. Dude, these people don't believe in Jesus. Our landscape isn't based upon Jesus and Christianity. It's based on government. I pissed in that hat. Oh. Look at these people. These people are so sad. Dude, I see why these people put these videos up on social media and make fun of these fucking people, dude. It's ridiculous. I give you the power to tread on the serpents and scorpions, all over the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Yeah, you'll be just fine. I mean, it sucks that this man died. It sucks these kids are going to have to grow up without a kid. But this guy knew the environments he was going into, and he knew this is a great possibility. Have we not seen it from the shit that's happened with all these political pundits, the hawks of TikTok, the Tom Powells of TikTok that openly talk about banning guns, but they're sitting on their live chat smoking marijuana while bragging about them owning guns? Yeah, criminals. We're the criminals though, but these guys that sit on TikTok and do all this shit, dude, they're fine and dandy, right? They can do what they want. And that's the feeling I get, that these groups of people have the thinking and you know, authority to go around and say what they ever want to say because they're fearless leaders in society do it. And they think they're not beholden to the consequences because their leaders aren't beholden to the consequences of when they speak. Like Maxwell Waters and all these people that sat up in front of on national TV and told you to run around and scream in people's faces when they're at the gas station, when they're at the grocery store. You fucking give them hell. You talk shit to them all day long. That's not creating the political instability that we have in this country. When you have these other people like Donald Trump talking shit about these people, that's not concerning either, right? Because one side of the political argument is going to tell me that's quite and fine dandy, but the other side is going to say it's quite and fine dandy when we do this, and I'm just watching them bicker and batter and back and forth with each other. It's not states united. It hasn't been the United States for quite some time. Go look at your gun laws. That should tell you. That should tell you right then and there who wishes to do you harm in certain states, and who are just not going to do shit for you, but at least they give you the ability to own and operate a gun, so in case some fucking weirdo comes around, dude, you can defend yourself, especially women. Women are more statistically vulnerable to being attacked than men are. Go look it up. Aha, Billy got bumped. Dude, you're going to get bumped out of here if you're going to be talking all this shit. I talk with God every fucking day. Every fucking day. Gunpowder and beauties out there. If this is God's plan sucks balls. See, that's the thing. A lot of people, if you want to get into the biblical argument of this, God gave us free will to do what we want to do. This isn't God's planning. This is our planning. God's just up there like an ant farm, dude, kicking the fucking glass once in a while when we get stuck on shit. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it, dude. God gave us free will. Go look in there. That's why Lucifer was cast down from heaven, because he was jealous, because God gave more empathy and more thoughts to the human beings he created than the angels above. Blah, 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 blah. We have free will. You have the free will. If you want to right now, you can click off this live chat and go about your days and never think about it again. But if it resonates with you and it consumes you, you're only letting it do it. It's just that big of a deal here. You know, Charlie Kirk's death does not affect me like it's affecting his friends, his family. It doesn't do that for me. It just shows me that the other side of the aisle does not want any more discussion anymore. So I'm going to go about my way, not talk to either one of these political parties, and I'm going to vote my conscience. And if I lose, I lose. You don't see me going on social media apps and screaming into the phone, no. I just go on without my day and hustle the best I can, because I know there'll be another opportunity in the midterms to change it if I do not like it. I mean, we have free will. You know? God's plans, dude, we have free will. There is no God's plans. God's plans, he only gave us a little set of rules and regulations to live by. And if we don't want to live by it, we don't have to. You just suffer the consequences after your decisions. Consequences, decisions, you either get rewards or you get the bad news. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? We have free will. We have free reign of this earth. That's what we don't understand. God's all-knowing, but God gave us free will. God, when have you seen God intervene? God doesn't intervene because he gave us free will to choose what we wanted to do with our lives that he has given us. I don't want to get into a political debate about this because I gave up Catholic schooling a long, long fucking time ago, and I gave up going to church a long, long fucking time ago. This is my church outside. This is where I pray. If I'm sitting here, I hear something terrible, I pray in here. I go pray over there. I go pray under a tree. I'm always out in the tree stand praying, dude. You know what I'm saying? As long as you give your what's up to him, dude. He knows. He's all knowing, like you said, he knows. I didn't say he knows all the choices that we make, but he allows us to make those choices. You're not following. You're just thinking God is the all be all. No, God gave us the option. And he never gave his angels the option. That's where you get this story about the devil and falling from earth and having intercourse with humans and all that crazy shit you see on the internet about Christianity. God is all-knowing, but God doesn't step in as much as you think he does. Sometimes it's luck. Sometimes it's just coincidence at times. At times, coincidence. Other times, it's just your dumb fucking choice. It's your dumb fucking choice. And this was a dumb fucking choice for him. Shouldn't have went to Utah. I don't know. Nature is a great place to be, especially when everything goes quiet. Yeah, dude. You feel that deep down inside, Abigail. These people they've never gone hunting. They've never depended on the wilderness to provide for you because everything in the grocery store is toxic. Every piece of chemical they're putting in there, all their radioactive shrimp, all that shit. When you're sitting out there in the woods and you're watching nature and you're understanding nature and understanding the behaviors, you get it. You get it at that point. These people don't get it. They go on Call of Duty. They go on Battlefield. They go on social media sites. They go to these crazy fucking places. They don't go outside. They don't touch grass. They touch concrete. That's all they believe in. Yeah. I believe that last statement. I'll pin that bitch on there. He says, God moves as fast or as slow as he needs to. Yeah. You don't need to understand what God's doing. You just need to understand what you're doing. That's the whole. Everybody's worried about everybody else. Worry about yourself for once in a while, and you'll feel a lot better. Trust me, I know this by personal experience. What I went through in my life, being bankrupted and lied to the whole entire time. Yeah, dude. Yeah. You just got to push forward and do the best that you can do with what is given, what is left for you in my situation, but what is given to you. You have to make the best of the worst times, man. 9/11 showed that. Again, a lot of these kids weren't alive when 9/11 happened. A lot of these kids do not understand what fucking happened on September 12th. Nobody does. Nobody does. I'll never see that fucking day again, and I'm very, very fucking convinced about that. Not only the people that have been in this fucking chat today, but the fucking comments that I've seen over every single social media post. I'll never see another September 12th, September 11th again when it comes to solidarity of the American people. And that's just that. And you can try and deny it. You can try and put some other kind of measure on it or some kind of other fucking example, but it will never be like that. It'll never be like that. It'll never be like that. And people don't understand it. Especially these young motherfuckers today. They don't understand it. They don't realize it. And they never fucking will. They don't choose to. Again, choice, right? We have choice. We have choice. We had choice during 9/11, didn't we? And then what happened? Daddy government got involved, and then we started lying about wars, right? Yeah, that was a good thing, wasn't it? Lying about wars. Yeah. I'd rather trust my mechanic with some of the pieces of government than any one of these fucking so-called politicians. I will never get my blessings back, unfortunately, but I thank you for that. I wish everybody in this chat would go outside, sit in a fucking tree stand, and really level down your maturity and think about it and search into your mind about how precious life is. Because I guarantee you, a lot of these motherfuckers, some of these people come in here, oh, I'm a teacher, I know kids, I don't have any personally, but I teach them. Motherfucker, I live with 4 of them for forever, and they were all the same age, breaking up fights, trying to be the mediator, trying not to be the bad cop. The mom was always the bad cop, I was always the good cop. You know what I'm saying? Fuck, dude. Parenting has a lot to do with it too, and this is a prime example of why I've never beat my kids over the head with what I think, what you guys have just seen in this video and expressed. They're free to go out and do whatever they want to do. My kids, there's some that shoot firearms, that own firearms, and there's some that don't want to. They don't have the need and urge to. But you see me beating them over the head? No. You're grown adults. You're grown adults not only by what the United States of America says, but the state of Indiana says. You are adults. Be a productive member of society. That's what I've told my kids always to be. Be a productive member of society. You may not get everything right, but failure is a life learner. You learn from these failures and you capitalize on these fucking failures. If I'm sitting in a stand and a buck wins me, I'll get out of my stand and I'll reevaluate the next time I run into that deer of what not to do. These kids cannot determine that. And it is prime example here about Charlie Kirk. They do not know how to get into their feelings and express them without anger or violence. And it is what it is. But again, if you bring that shit to me, this anger and this fucking violence, it will be met with anger and violence. I'm not going to roll over. The only way this government or any other government in this fucking world is going to put me on my knees is they do it. I'm not going to die on them. And I think that should be every American, no matter race, color, or creed's opinion about government. No government's ever going to put us on our knees. Ever. I mean, we could talk about that in a different way since these juveniles want to come in here and make crack jokes. But it's not a joke when this shit happens in your community. It's not a joke when this shit happens to somebody that you know. It's not a joke when this shit hits close to home and happens to a family member. But what? I'm supposed to go out here and just fucking protest and burn buildings down like the left did? Because some man died because he chose violence? He chose the act of hurting another human being? Charlie Kirk never did that. Whether you think his thought process hurt people, I never saw, well, I lost my job. Not until now. I lost my job because Charlie Kirk said black pilots weren't qualified. Never heard that in my life. That's just his opinion. It's a shitty opinion in that manner, but it's again his opinion, and he can have opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them. But every once in a while, folks, you should wipe it. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Sometimes it's better just to keep your opinions to yourself. Again, for this guy making fun of me of getting fired, I'll look at it this way. I said my opinions. They were doing federal crimes. I stuck up for it and I was fired for it. So what does that have to do with me being a shitty employee? It doesn't. I stood on my principles. I thought what was best for not only me, but what family members I had left to take care of at that point. And I thought that was the according way to handle it, is to call these people out in the middle of a fucking meeting and say, you're full of shit. And then give me a 10-year plan. Dude, I'm old. You're giving me a 10-year plan for this business to spark? I'll be really fucking old at that point. It ain't gonna happen. So yeah. A lot of people don't understand. I don't understand quite all the things that happen in your life, but you see me ridiculing you only when you come on here and you talk your fucking nonsense, youngsters. You'll never learn your lessons, and you'll continue to kill yourselves on the streets for gang activity or political violence. And that's all you're going to get from it. You're not going to get, if you think you're going to go and get some kind of funeral like Charlie Kirk is getting, you're not. You're just not. You're not going to get that from the left, definitely. And you're not going to get that from the right, just being some guy, some ordinary person like I am out here in society. Nope. They're going to throw dirt over you, and you won't be remembered until one day you're sitting on a boat in a lake and somebody recalls a fond memory of you. Or a shitty memory, depending on who's remembering you. So all you are at that point is a memory. But I will say one thing. If you think this has helped my cause or my family cause in any situation, no, you've just let the cat out of the bag here. That's what you've done. You've killed a political opponent, and now these people are getting you fired, getting you extricated from society. But I remember that happened during the coup. So I don't know, man. It's just, I think these kids nowadays do not understand the value of life. They don't know what goes into life. They only think it's video games, media, social media clout, and how big of a social media presence you can have. It's never been like that for me. People on this channel that have followed me for years upon years, for decades now, understand that that's not my motive here. My motive is to get you critically thinking, to get you out, go shoot firearms, be responsible with said firearms, and be proficient. You are your own first responder. And if you can't grasp that concept, I don't know. Wait for the cops to come and fucking plug your hole that you're bleeding out of. Because some holes are unpluggable. So I've never understood it. I've never understood this kind of violence. I've never understood the ideology that comes along with it. And you know how I know all this shit? My family member was a treasury and found corruption, and they tried to bury her. They came to houses with suitcases of money saying, don't say this. Those people eventually went to jail, but that was after this person was fired from her job because she uncovered the corruption. Corruption's deep in politics, folks. It's deep, and it can send people over the edge, and this is a great example of it. Especially when you find out people are doing bad things like this person I just mentioned was found out while they were cooking the books. They thought she was going to go along with it and give out money to these rich people and these people that were stealing from the community, and it didn't quite happen. She filled her term out, but when she tried to run again, they opposed her. Her own party, her own Democratic Party opposed her to put that person back in there, and those people all got caught for corruption. So what does that tell you? They do not care about God. They do not care about the Bible. They don't care about anything. They care about politics. Politics is their religion. Government is their religion. Charlie Kirk was just, he was wrong place, wrong time. That's where he was. You can call it whatever you want, Katie. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it martyrism. You can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. But all I know is that man walked into the lion's den without a fucking chair and a whip. It didn't work out well for him. You cannot compromise with anti-gunners or these leftists. I don't know how much further you want to go unless you want to see somebody else murdered for their beliefs. Again, that man's beliefs never hurt me. They never hurt my gay friends. They never hurt trans people. That was just his simple thought process. That's it, man. I don't know what else to tell you. You might think his speech was hateful because he didn't believe in the marriage between a man and a man and a woman and all that jazz. But that doesn't circumvent the decision to murder the man, for Christ's sake. Same thing with anybody else that's been assassinated for political speech. Fuck, Jim Morrison from The Doors was arrested for political speech. Go look up that one. It's one of my favorite bands. And I don't even listen to fucking music, but I'll listen to The Doors. Because that man, as drug-ridden as he was, go listen to his music. Oh, dude, Israel is out of control. Don't get me started on them. Don't get me started on them. Israel's out of control. Look, I think the retaliation was justified for what happened, but not to this level, not to this magnitude, this capacity. See, a lot of people don't understand that. They think I'm conservative. I'm not. Dude, we're opposing a lot of brutal force on people around this country at this moment. We are. And a lot of it, if you hear from the politicians, especially Donald Trump, is to insert power, to show that power runs America. And you heard it today with the meeting with Kash Patel about that Senator Cory Booker. All he said was, you don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. I do what I need to do. I do what I do. That's all he said on there. You don't tell me what to do. Well, we do tell them what to do. We should tell you leftists should tell that guy to shut the fuck up. That's what you should do. And Kash Patel's an idiot anyway. And then he blurred out a bunch of bullshit facts. Like that, oh, that's helping America, is it? You got 6,000 guns off the street, huh? Yeah. Didn't help Chicago yesterday. Didn't help them on Labor Day either. You should fucking... I'm telling you, man, I've never seen this level of discord. And again, I'll never see a level of humanity come together like I saw on September 12th of 2001. I'll never see it. It'll be ever ingrained in my memory, but it'll never be ingrained into these young fuckers that come into this chat talking shit. It'll never be ingrained in these leftists or that kid that just did this terrible, dastardly fucking deed. They'll never see it. You know why? Because they don't want to. They don't understand the concept of it. They don't. I'm not saying the right is just as much as his fault as the fucking left. And you've drove these children, these kids, because if you're going to sit here and say that these guys are adults, you've driven these adults fucking mad with your political ideology. Whiny MAGA. I'm not a MAGA, Susan. Look at Susan. Susan probably goes on Facebook and just spouts her fucking cunt mouth off because she just needs to. See, grouping people. See how that goes? Grouping people. I'm going to group this guy with long hair that wears a Don't Tread on Me shirt in the MAGA cult, right? Because he's talking about he wants to be free. He's talking about gun ownership. He's talking about all this shit that I don't agree with. What is Susan going to do? Come and kill me now? Is that what it's going to be? I don't fall into that category, Susan. So stop fucking categorizing people. Both sides are. Mike's out there. He gets it. There's been a lot of people that have been killed. That kid in Portland, dude. That dude that was really popular in gun culture was shot in the chest in Portland over his beliefs. Over his beliefs out there. But you're not going to see me going to those kinds of protests. I've been to protests. I've been to tons of protests. But boy, would I go to a Charlie Kirk event? Fuck no. Dude, I have my head on a swivel when I'm at the baseball games that I go and fucking watch. That's how it is. When I sit in a fucking restaurant, I sit facing the door and make sure there's no doors behind me. And some people think that's lunacy. Is it? How many times have you seen on the news somebody just go in there and start indiscriminately shooting people at shopping markets? Things like that. I don't go to grocery stores, but I mean, in the end, how many times have you seen it? The old debate of the FUDs, open carry and concealed carry. If you're open carry, oh man, you're a target. You're always a target. No matter what, boomer, you're always a target. It doesn't matter. Carry a firearm openly or concealed. It does not matter. The majorities of killings that we've seen have been done when people just walk into a place and shoot it up. And then I've also seen people take out their concealed carry piece and get handled with it. Get handled, dead, unalive, because they thought it was the good choice to challenge somebody with a rifle when you had a pistol. Never going to work out. Your pistol is to get you to your rifle. That's what it's used for. That's what I was taught it was used for anyway. If you have a disconnect with that, go talk to the U.S. military about it. No, common sense is not common. And that's the problem. These kids nowadays do not have common sense. They do not think. That's my whole point. They are immature thinkers. They are people that have not developed a whole entire thought process that ends with a conclusion and a resolve of the problem that they have. Their vision of resolving the problem is either socially or economically tearing someone apart until they can't fucking breathe under the weight of financial, securities or desecurities, than fucking getting out of complete thought and saying, fuck this, we'll create our own space and we'll do this the same way that they do it. No, they don't see it that way. They just like, well, fuck it, we'll off this guy, and the next one that speaks up will be next. And if you think Shapiro or this other guy that's coming out in retirement isn't going to have a target on him, you're fucking nuts. Somebody else, there's always a repeater. There's always a repeater in these acts of violence. We've seen it time and time again. Dude, a lack of fucking family. And even with this kid that had a father, what did that kid instill into him? Because all I heard from this guy today during the presser was he said that this kid was unhinged of what his dad was saying and didn't agree with it, so he flipped to the other side, then started dating a transsexual, and that got him into the thought process that for some reason this transsexual person was going to be lifted from life in some form or fashion, when we've never seen that happen in society. So he took it the extra lengths to make sure, in his mind, from what he actually wrote in his quotes, to make that person feel better about their life. That's what, go read the presser. It's not verbatim, but that's basically what this kid said. And that's the wrong way to go about it. Wrong way to go about it. And again, not a great thought process. Didn't come to a great conclusion. But boy, a lot of people around this country like the height of this fucking movie, don't they? And then when we get down on the back side of that initial thing, then you start figuring out who's the Oh, neighbors over there having a chat. I thought they were fighting. But oh, look at all these messages being held. But, I mean, I forgot my train of thought here. I'm watching. This guy's got a little dog. I like dogs. I like dogs. Breaking news. FBI recovers deleted X post that named slain activist murder date. Yeah, dude, this dude left for being a kid that didn't want to be found out for this horrific action. He left a ton of footprints, social media footprints. He wasn't smart. I don't care what his grade point average was. But in his messages to his significant other, yes, it was a squirrel. Oh, actually, it was a dog. But it was a squirrel moment. But, I mean, looking at his text messages, dude, this kid, they're gonna push for the death penalty, which it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Most of these people are just dumb kids. Most do not want violence or killing based on beliefs. We're going to be able... Dude, when I was overseas, this is how it went, dude. The Mujahideen. People don't understand these people. They are devout Islamic extremists. They believe in Sharia law. And that's the only law that you believe in. And if you do not believe in that law, you are killed for not having those beliefs. Muslim, ideology is even more dangerous than what we've witnessed here with kids that can't rectify the situation, because there's no stopgap there for those people. I've witnessed it firsthand. I've witnessed a man beat his wife because she wasn't carrying the basket on her head quick enough. I've witnessed this stuff in life. If you think America's so bad, you should go live in these third world countries and start looking at how they treat their population. And if Brittany Griner wasn't a bigger example of that, I don't know what is. Because in this country, you're allowed to smoke marijuana. In that country, you are not. And if you think you're just American and you're a basketball player and you think you have all the clout, not when you go to these other places. When you go, these people have never witnessed the world outside of the United States. I doubt they've even been to fucking Canada. for Christ's sake. You know? I don't think they understand it. If you think that these places are so great, oh, Britain doesn't have any gun violence, we're going to go there. Go there, because if you post what you've been posting on America social media, I guarantee you're going to jail in those countries for your memes and your public posts, dude. You should be lucky you live in this fucking country. The USA is not a third world country. I've been to third world countries. I think you should go reevaluate or go to an actual third world country. This has shelter, it has fresh water, and you can go to the supermarket. We are far from a third world country. Now, politic-wise, we're in the basis of rich people running the country that own tons of businesses, that the majority of people shop in this country that have some of the most biggest influence over these decision makers. That's not a third world country in my perspective. So you're wrong on that. And I'll continue to say you're wrong, and I'll continue to say the United States is the greatest fucking country on this earth, because we wouldn't be sitting here chatting about this. If you haven't noticed, in other countries, there's not a ton of chatting going on unless it's the news. Because these people are getting pulled. People are getting pulled off of TikTok right now. TikTok is actually pulling down accounts for people speaking out about government. I mean, it's their platform. I don't like what YouTube does over here. Boy, I'd like to get paid by YouTube sometime, but you got to play ball. You got to play ball, man. It is what it is. Yeah, you don't have to be rich. You just don't. You don't have to be rich to have a connection with whoever you believe it is that higher level of intelligence, man, or whatever you want to call it at this point. Doesn't matter. As long as you're praying, as long as you're doing the just thing and the right thing, you know, sometimes bad things will happen to you, but a lot of the time you'll have good success in life. And I believe I've had that. With all my ups and downs in life, and some of the dumb shit that I've said in life, I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson job-wise by getting fired. I've learned my lesson with my children. I've learned my lesson with my significant other. Me and her agree to disagree on some things, but we've learned to live with each other. Even though this person financially ruined my life and lied to me during it, I still move on with my life the way it needs to go, the way I feel set to do it. My kids, they don't want to talk to me. That's their prerogative. That's their agenda. But if you ever think I'll hang up the phone on my kids, you're wrong. No matter how much they disagree with me, no matter how much I disagree with their actions or their words in society, they have the right to say them just as I do. And I believe that they can believe what they feel necessary to. You know, there's a difference between wants and needs in this life, and I hope I've taught people that have come across me that it's not always great to want everything in life. It's a good thing to need things in life. And to get to that process where you get those necessities is the rewarding factor in it. You get rewards and consequences for the actions and the things that you say in life. And that's what I've always taught my kids. Be mindful of what you push send to, no matter what social media it is. Be mindful of where you say things at, whether it be at rallies, whether it be at these sort of functions like Charlie Kirk and others hold. Like, be aware of the situation that you're putting yourself into when you're buying into these bullshit ideologies and corruptions in life. Because you only get one life, and you better do the best you can do it. I'm going out, I'm hunting every day, almost every day. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm not listening to a manager yell at me for their incompetence. I'm not listening to coworkers who don't want to come to work because I didn't listen to them then because they didn't show up for work. I don't have to deal with any of that shit anymore. I don't have to deal with people coming to work fucking drunk. You know, I don't have to deal with any of that shit anymore. I just don't. There was a dude I watched that claims that the bullet came from a totally different angle. I don't know. Sometimes what a lot of people aren't understanding, when some people, like, they'll take that photo or that video and they'll reverse it. That way they can stay on that platform. Like, if you go on platforms like TikTok, and you see a line across the screen when you're watching a video, or a substance of lines everywhere, that's because they're taking that person's video, putting it on there, monetizing that, they can get paid for it. So basically, they're stealing their content. That's what this guy named the Gun Gnome does. This guy will run over to Guns and Gadgets, or wherever his jockstrap smelling leads him to, take their stories and post them as his own stories, and say, "Look what I did. Hooty hoo, look what I did do." And that's not right. That's not right. He doesn't know shit neither. He doesn't go to these places. He doesn't interact with these people. He doesn't. He just goes around, steals other people's information and videos, and says it's his own research. That's what that guy does. That's what a lot of these guys do. A lot of these videos. If you watch the original version of the video like I watched when somebody first posted it online, yes, I can see where misconceptions are going, where some people said he was shot from this side or that side. It's because some of these things are reversed. Some of these things are reversed. If you look around the areas of these videos, if shit is backwards, like my CZ hat is backwards, you know why? Because my camera's facing this way. But you can go into apps, and you can get, like Power Director will do it, where you can flip the image. And once you start flipping images, this will happen. This is what my front camera looks like, but if you turned it around to my other camera, you would see it would be right. So always look at your fucking surroundings when you're looking at these videos. If you see a sign and it's backwards lettering, that person snaked that video, put it on their account to make money. That's another thing I've really watched off of this Charlie Kirk shit, is people making tons of money. Chinese, it doesn't matter who you are, making tons of money off the Freedom shirt that he wore. The white one that he was killed in. There's tons of people selling that shirt right now. Tons of people selling it. And they're making millions off it. Millions off it. You know? Watch outside for a minute. Hold on. I had to go get something to drink. People are making my mouth. There's some chat going on out there. My moderators are going to ban you and block you. At this point, I'd just rather have them ban you. I didn't go by that. Yeah, doesn't matter what you look like. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, you see a lot of this bullshit around social media, and I say don't get trapped into it. Yeah. Folding your laundry, huh? I gotta do my laundry too. I gotta wash my hunting clothes. I got a little bit dirty on the last hunt I went for. But those videos will be out here soon. That video will be out. I got a short and another video coming out, and it's gonna be hot all week, so I'm gonna let my camera soak for another 4 days. I think it's gonna be. They're gonna soak for another 4 days. But that's my thoughts and opinions on it. And if it's not your thoughts and opinion, then it's no big deal. I mean, don't go on a live crying about it. But the man was killed for other than just speaking words. And if those words hurt you, You're a weak-minded individual, and you should be trying to better yourself in life. I think, especially my moderators out here, for coming in here and try to police this chat as best as possible. Yeah, we're talking about pheasant hunt up there. We're talking about a pheasant hunt up there, Travis B. I think everybody for coming, even the ones that wanted to come in here and try and stir the pot and at least talk somewhat sociable. But to the other people, fuck you, fuck your family, and I don't care about it. Just like I said before, I'll say it again. Train because they hate you. That's why.